Number one, did you pick up on the and here? It's a good indicator word. It's telling us that the statements that appear on either side of the and are both premise statements. So we're missing a conclusion in number one. If any form of cheating deserves to be punished and plagiarism is a form of cheating, that would seem to follow as a conclusion that plagiarism deserves to be punished. So now we've got to come up with the terms, our plural nouns or noun phrases that we're going to use in our standard form categorical syllogism. I chose to express the terms this way: acts of cheating, acts that deserve punishment, acts of plagiarism. You may have chosen different wording for your terms. That's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that you have countable plural nouns or noun phrases as your terms. Using these terms, when we write the argument in standard form, our first premise is all acts of cheating are acts that deserve punishment. Second premise is all acts of plagiarism are acts of cheating. And the conclusion is all acts of plagiarism are acts that deserve punishment. This argument passes the 5 rules for categorical syllogisms, and it also appears in the very first box in our unconditionally valid forms argument. So we know this argument is valid. The question might be, is it sound? In other words, are all of the premises in this valid argument true statements? Because if they are, I'll have to accept the conclusion as a true statement. The first premise says all acts of cheating are acts that deserve punishment. It seems like we could make a pretty good case for that statement being true. After all, cheating as a term, it implies an inherent immorality or unethical kind of behavior. And generally speaking, we want to condemn unethical behavior. So we could probably make the argument that premise number 1 is true. But what about premise number 2? All acts of plagiarism are acts of cheating. Plagiarism is presenting somebody else's words or ideas as if they're your own and not properly attributing them to your source. We might be able to challenge that second premise and argue that while all acts of plagiarism are acts that need to be corrected, they don't necessarily constitute cheating, because we might be able to define cheating as an action that we take knowingly that we know is the wrong thing to do, and we do it anyway. And I've seen plenty of cases where people, they do so much research and they read so many people's ideas that at some point those ideas just kind of percolate into their own thinking, and then those ideas end up making their way into their work. Is that plagiarism? Yeah, probably. Is it cheating? I wouldn't regard it as such. I would regard it as something that needs to be corrected, but I wouldn't attach necessarily unethical motivations to that action.